getting ready for a conference championship time and just 8 teams, which is a few more than normal, just with some teams. But how would you kind of, as you look at the conference championship going in and handicapping that?
You know, I think when it comes to the conference championship, it's anybody's day. I was discussing this with our men's golf coach the other day, and you know, anybody can go out and career it. It's postseason. Emotions are high. Everybody's excited, and every team wants to win. From San Diego State to UNLV to Wyoming, everybody wants to win.
And that said, how do you prepare your team? Do you prepare any different for this than you would for a you know, for a tournament in the regular season?
Maybe a little bit. You know, just trying to play on that little bit of adrenaline and you know, songs they listen to, the way they talk. Constantly saying that we're going to be team champions and what it's going to look like when we jump into Poppy's Pond, those kind of things, and getting them excited about the moment, because when it gets to postseason in the spring, everybody's tired. You know, school, tournaments, everything's been going on, so they're prepared, but physically, mentally, we've got to have the whole package.
And for people that don't know, you're playing at the same course, the Mission Hills Country Club, same place where the LPGA, one of the majors was, the Kraft Nabisco a few weeks ago. Talk about that course, and I think, as most people do know, Jodi Ewart, former Lobo, All-American, actually did quite well on that course. So what have you been able to glean from that?
Well, it was quite a coup for our conference to get that golf course, and one of the other coaches for Fresno State, I think her mom's a member there, so everybody's pretty excited. I mean, how many times does anyone ever get to play on an LPGA golf course? It doesn't happen very often. So yeah, I've spoken to a few coaches that aren't in our conference, and they're all pretty excited for us to get to play that. But yeah, Jodi played great there. You know, she was in town a few weeks ago, and I got to pick her brain a little bit about the course and the condition of it, which it's, you know, it's a couple weeks apart, so it shouldn't be too much different. Obviously, they're not going to have it play as difficult as it did for the LPGA, but, you know, the shape of the greens, the shape of the fairways, that all stays the same. So it was good to get to talk to her and see what kind of strategy she had, so we can have that crossover.
Speaking of that, just any, you know, characteristics of the course that, you know, here's what we have to do, or we've got to make sure we don't do this?
You know, pars are good, and that course, you have to keep it in the fairway. So some of our longer hitters and a little more inconsistent hitters, they've been really, really working off their game off the tee. So if you're out of the fairway, you have you're going to have more of a difficult time getting it to the green, the place you want. The greens are firm, which our last 2 tournaments we played, the greens were really firm, so I think that was good preparation.
Okay. One senior in Beth Buckner. Could you just talk about Beth a little bit, hoping that this is not her last collegiate tournament, but talk about what she's meant for the past 4 years.
Well, and it will be her last conference championship, and you know, Beth's just she's a person that every coach wants on their team. You know, she's a great student, great leader, great player. You know, she hasn't had the year that she's wanted to have for her senior year, but sometimes score isn't all that matters. You know, to me, having a great leader and having somebody that is ready to motivate their whole team is really important. You know, Beth's, she's pretty much happy all the time. You know, she's an extremely hard worker. She's got, when she gets a plan in her head, she follows through, and, you know, I can't say enough good things about Beth.
And finally, Coach, we were talking about Jodi Ewart, our second full year on the LPGA Tour, made the cut, I think, in her first 6 competitions so far, making some money. You're probably not surprised by her success, but talk about how fun it's been to follow Jodi on the tour.
You know, not only fun for me, but fun for our current team, fun for our incoming team, fun for our boosters, the city of Albuquerque. You know, Albuquerque's her second home. She loves New Mexico. I think on her Twitter it says something like born in Yorkshire, raised by Lobos. You know, so it's fun to watch that she really loves our town and our Lobo fans here. So it's really fun to see, and everybody always asks me about her. Everybody, you know, from I think when she was here, she had a guy on the street stop her and talk to her, and she was surprised about that. And it happens to be someone we know that follows her all the time. So, you know, it's really fun for her too.
And I assume you're not surprised by her success.
I'm not surprised at all. In fact, once she decides that she wants to win, she's going to win.
Coach, thanks.
Yep, thanks.